And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're talking about an expansion for Thunderstone Advance, Thunderstone Caverns of Bane. Now I believe there is 4 expansions for Thunderstone already, maybe 5, it's hard to keep track. But this is the first one for Thunderstone Advance. So this is building off of that game. Now, does that mean these cards will not work with previous, like if you have original Thunderstone? No, I think they'll work for the most part, but it's really geared towards Thunderstone Advance. And what's nice is, everything that Thunderstone Advance have, this expansion adds more cards and one new rule that you can or may not use depending if you use the cards or not. I like it, it's simple, and it adds a few, minor flares amongst the cards. We're going to take a look at the cards moment, and then that's it for this review, because I just want to show you and talk about this expansion, but it's a nice one. I don't know how to describe it. It's easygoing. The cards fit well, nothing confusing, just more cards. And for the original set, adding this in, you have a lot of options now. So let's take a look at the cards of this set. First we have Curse of War, which is a new curse that's added. There's 4 copies in this. Basically, you can't rest or prepare, which can be really annoying when that shows up. So that's a new curse. But let's take a look at some of the things. We have new weapons. This one cancels raid effects. So if raid monsters annoy you, this is a good one to have in the deck. This Seed Bomb is interesting because when you level up a hero, you can discard this to keep both the leveled up hero and the original hero. I don't know how that works with Seed Bomb. Are you duplicating yourself? Probably best not to think about that. Reckless Conjure, Charm of Veneri, which is an interesting one because it gives you 2 light, but if you have it, you need to attack because otherwise you can't go to the village with this card in existence. Bloodhound, Castellan, Historian. Alright, let's talk about some of these. This is an interesting card. The Dwarven Ale. +1 attack and strength 1 to each hero. That's a great card. But even better, if there's a dwarf hero present, they get physical attack +4 and then you destroy the card. That's really interesting. I like how they specifically have a race involved now with this Dwarven Ale. Force Blast is cool. It's nice to see your spells that people know about in here. And this gives you light and a magic attack, which is nice. Allies is a very interesting card because it ignores darkness and gives you, but your attack -2 for each point of light. So you don't want any light, and then you can just completely ignore the darkness penalty. I think if there's one theme of this deck, it's this light-dark thing. I just showed you 2 cards, and there's a lot more that have to do with light and darkness in this set. This is a great staff. It's +6 attack, but you're going to subtract your strength from the card's physical attack. So if you have a very weak person holding this, it can be very deadly. It's a very interesting weapon and one that can be very useful, at least especially in the beginning of the game. And I like this card a lot too, Animal Talisman, because of the variety. You can take magic attack +2 or light +2 or strength +4. Your choice. And I like that there's that. That adds some things. But now let's look at some monsters. We have the Salamanders, who if you draw a card, if it's not a spell, the Salamander's health +2 and he kills a wizard or spell. Here you draw a card. If it's not a hero, add health +2. Here you draw a card. If it's not an item, health +2. So the Salamanders, you're drawing a card and hopefully you have the right thing in the deck. Otherwise, they're going to be stronger. Then we have these humanoids. I don't know how to pronounce them. Chiropids. Reveal the top card of your deck. Add that card's gold cost to this card's health. So this guy, if you have a lot of high gold cards, he's going to be harder to kill. This guy can destroy a card with a light icon. There's that light again. Here you reveal the top card of your deck. Add that card's gold to this card's health. And if that card has a light icon, destroy it. So once again, we're back with the light, and this guy can destroy light cards. The Darkling. Then we look at, we have 3 new Doom Knights, the Legion General, the Legion Sorcerer, and the Legion Warrior. All big baddies, and it's nice to have multiple of these. In fact, the rules have the special scenarios where you can use these guys. There's 3 more scenarios in the rule book. So that we have these Doom Knights. Then we have the Trolls. The Trolls have a special ability. Basically, if you fight them and you lose, they don't go away. So you have to go in there and get rid of them. This guy can make you lose a weapon. This guy, when he comes, you have to go and fight him. This guy will give you 2 curses. Then there's the worms, which are just, well, annoying. Vermin. The worm Vernon. This guy needs magic attack to kill him. This guy will discard all but one hero. This one, attack +1 for each card with light present. Don't attack this one with light because he'll nail you to the wall. And again, we're back to that light darkness theme. Then, hooray, this is my favorite one in the set. Not because of any special abilities, but just because they're such a staple from Dungeons & Dragons. The oozes. We have the green viscoid and the stalking stalagmite, and then of course the gelatinous cube. Come on now, it's just neat to have in the game. And he destroys a weapon. It's great. And let's see, then we have some more Thunderstone bearers that are in the game. Oh, nasty, look at that lich. But then we get to the treasure. Now, treasure is something new. Now, there was treasure before in the original Thunderstone, but it's a little bit different now. Now, when you get to a treasure, when a treasure shows up, you will draw a monster, and that monster will have this battle added to them. So, let's say, for example, this treasure came, and I'm fighting the albino worm. This albino worm is +1 for each card with light present, and I have to discard 2 heroes. If I beat him, then I will get the Edgewalker's Blade, which is physical attack +4, add magic attack +2 against guardians. It's a fantastic weapon, but each of these really cool items that you will find, you have to fight a monster, for example, with health +2. So I like that. It makes the treasures harder to get, and they feel earned, which is a much big improvement over the original Thunderstone. Then there's some new heroes in the deck. We have the Force Mage Shaper, who starts with magic attacks, but he gets much more powerful as if you have a lot of spells in your deck. So this is a wizard who encourages you to have spells in your deck. Then we have the Pattern Mage here, who starts with a +2 magic attack, and as time goes by, you're going to be able to go through your deck and rearrange the cards on top, so she's useful for that. Then we have the Tracker, who starts out with a regular attack, but you can take a monster from the home, put it on the bottom of the dungeon deck. And this one ignores darkness penalties at the end, so that's very useful. Then we have the Disowned Berserker. The problem is, he's really useful and very powerful, but he'll destroy one of your other heroes, especially if he, later on, he'll destroy all your other heroes, but he's a physical attack +8 and can hold 2 weapons. Do you want to stick this guy in your deck? That's fine, but be careful. And then we have the Scrounger, who has very small attack, but he can buy weapons and village cards after it. Very cheap person, an upgrade, and he has a 4 coin value on him, which is a pretty neat thing. And then finally, the Skin Shifter Claw Hand, who you can get rid of cards to increase your strength, and as time goes by, he can discard cards to add more attack and more strength. And then the Spell Sword Venturer is the final one, really, who can add magical attacks for each magic item, magic weapon, and spells present. So he's a physical attack with a magic attack. It's a very good combo. So those are some of the cards in the deck. I didn't dwell on every single one of them because we didn't want to make this review go forever. But I like it. Like I said, it has a light, dark theme to it, but also a lot of other cool things. And come on, a gelatinous cube.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.